Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And this video is a very special episode. We're going to be talking about Afcon today. Since the first round of matches, or like match day one finished, I'm going to do a recap, or like, let me say, not necessarily a recap, but what things I noticed after watching those round of matches. The second round of matches starts today, so I had to do it today and put it out before the first match of today. So yeah, I only have 3 things I'm going to highlight that I've noticed after watching all those matches, or just about Afcon in general. So let's go. The first thing I noticed is the shift in African football. Like, so many years ago, even like the editions of Afcon that are like 2010s and things like that, you will see that only certain countries play good football or do well. That's why like a lot of the trophies are just revolved around certain countries. Like, it just goes back and forth. Maybe we have one or two uncommon winners here and there in the whole history, but it's the same countries. And you can see a shift that, like, it's not only them that are now doing well or playing well. There are now more countries, or even all the countries in Africa are doing well in football. And I feel like that's has to do with like the African countries shipping out their players, or shipping out more players to play in other parts of the world, be it Europe or Asia, or the Middle East, or even like America, like North America, South America, and things like that. So those guys come back, and regardless of like the coaches they have, they would still have those lessons they learned in those regions to play good football regardless. And that's why we had a lot of shockers in this round of matches, where like people like Egypt drew, Nigeria drew, Ghana lost, Tunisia lost, Algeria drew also. So yeah, that's because like, and the teams that beat them, people didn't expect them to even play well, not to even talk of like scoring a goal or even winning. So it just shows where like African football is going. It's just going to keep getting better and better. Yeah. And it's funny, Sha, because like it makes the competition kind of interesting, because there are only like, let's say, 10 good countries that you can think of in the competition, and like the remaining 14 are like countries that are either like in the middle. They are not top, they're not bottom, they're in the middle. And then like bottom countries that like people don't expect anything from them. So it's good that now like is kind of leveling the playing field, because nobody's respecting anybody anymore. Like the theme of the year is no grief for anybody. Nobody is agreeing for anybody in this Afcon. The number 2 thing is, the thing I noticed was that like the favorites, some showed themselves of why they are favorites, and some, it just gives like we are just thinking their favorites on paper, but what they're putting out on the field is not living up to standard. And like, in as much as football is about quality, it's also about who wants it more. And teams like Nigeria, I won't even say Egypt didn't even want it, or Ghana didn't even want it. It's just like they just expected it to be easy. They underestimated their opponents so much. And the only people that impressed me, besides winning, and like their game of football was also like fantastic and very convincing, was Senegal and Morocco. To be honest, every other person was either doing vibes. They were just like hoping that the quality of the other team is much lower than them, and then they were just getting away with no strategy whatsoever. They were just winging it. And I feel like that's what happened to Nigeria, that's what happened to Ghana, and that's what happened to Egypt. And in a lot of those matches, they didn't lead. Like, the big teams didn't lead. Like, Egypt didn't lead. No, Egypt led, and then the people came back and scored 2, and then it was 2-1 till like the 90th minute, then became 2-2. Nigeria, Guinea, Equatorial Guinea scored first, and then like Nigeria quickly scored back but couldn't reply after that. Algeria also led, and then they were stunned when the other people scored, and like Namibia beating Tunisia, like they did not expect, they thought okay this would be a 0-0, and then Namibia just pulled a fast one, and they played really well for me. Like among the shockers, Namibia and Cape Verde played the best against those big teams or big countries. So yeah, that's just what I noticed. Like they were not convincing. Like it just felt like they were just names on paper. And I don't know whether it's the weather, because like a lot of these big, except like Egypt, all the other like countries have a lot of players playing in Europe or something. So like, and they are coming from winter regions. So to come to Cote d'Ivoire that is hot, like maybe that's what's affecting them. Or maybe they are not just even taking Afcon seriously, to be honest, because you see some players not even considering coming, or like they're like they will give excuse of injury, like Nigeria, side eye, or they will just say, I will come later. You're not taking it serious. It's like, would you see something like that at Euros? We used to someone just say, I'm going to come later. I know that Euros is played at the end of the season, but Europeans would not take that. But Africans apparently are taking that. So, yeah. Then the third thing I notice is the standard of football is still not at the level. Yes, there's a shift, but the standard of football is still very low. I expected so much more from teams. Like if you watch a lot of those matches, sorry, I was distracted. If you watch a lot of those matches, many countries didn't have strategy. Nothing. They were just going out playing vibes and hoping that individual quality will save them, to be honest. Like it's only maybe Senegal, Morocco, South Africa that I kind of saw their game of play. I think Morocco was using more of the wings. Senegal was doing fast break a lot. South Africa knew they didn't have the midfield against their opponents, which I can't remember who they are. So they're always playing like above the midfield, always like crossing high, and that was a very high intensive strategy, and it got tired. Plus the weather, and they couldn't keep up, and the other team just waited for them to get tired, and then changed their midfield, and they were on fire. They just beat South Africa. So I feel like that's what happened with South Africa. So like very few teams showed any like strategy. Then the level of defending is atrocious. Like bro, like you just be thinking, are these people playing a good? I know that some teams have European players or players playing in Europe, but it might not be in like the top level, but they are playing like maybe second division or third division of those countries. Regardless, defending is the same way everywhere. The principles are the same way everywhere. And if you people can't even show that, what are we even doing? I get that African football is a different terrain entirely, like how like South American football have an identity, African football have an identity, but it's like it has been an African heritage where like Africa doesn't play with strategy, they just play with physicality, and like may the best man win or something, and it's just luck. Some of the goals that you even see, all jokes aside, it's just like, how is this even possible? How is this even happening? How are you letting this happen? Like, aren't you ashamed of it? But yeah, that's just how, and it was a bit disappointing, especially the first one, Cote d'Ivoire and who was it? Cote d'Ivoire and Guinea-Bissau was just such a bad match for the opening game of the tournament, because it was just so like nothing was happening. Like they were just kicking the ball around, but like there was no strategy. Like even Cote d'Ivoire that has better quality players did not even prove themselves. Like, it's just because Guinea-Bissau was so bad. No offense to them, they were just so bad that Cote d'Ivoire just never even got out of like first gear. As if they even have gear. Do you understand? And like, even though Guinea-Bissau had chances, they never took their chances in front. They were not clinical in front, and I feel like that's why Cote d'Ivoire beat them. But let's talk true. That match should have been like 0-0 because like the quality was not good. There's no lie. But who am I to judge? I'm just telling you what I think, what I noticed, and I feel like a lot of people that I've discussed with or like just casually talked about Afcon with, they feel the same way. You even see tweets about these things that I've highlighted. So I don't know where we are going to go for. I'm happy that we're kind of moving in the right direction, but we need to really fully move in the right direction if like Afcon will get the respect it deserves, not just people saying you gotta respect Afcon. Do you understand? Because the level of football display should be so much better. And I feel like that's why not many African countries have reached like semi-final and World Cup, because if they meet a team that like the technicality, the strategy is top, like they can't match it. They can just hope for physicality and like them underestimating them, being underdog, and then hoping to win. And luck is just on their side, and like luck can take you so far in football. But yeah, that's those are my three things, and this is in the Afghan. I don't have much to say. Where I'm more active on is on Instagram. I'll have it on the screen so that people can check me out, follow me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching to the end. I'll be doing another recap of the second round of football. It might not be the same thing I'm talking about here, but I might do more in depth, or I'll just do about Nigeria. It depends. Yeah. I'll still like see what it is, because this is just me wanting to do something for Afcon, because I'm African after all, Nigerian. But yeah, bye guys.